Welcome back to Ribbon Candy Hooking. I'm Deanna. It's great to see you on this Friday. I realized I have to do a quick project that I didn't realize I was involved in, and I am involved, and I am delighted. I'm doing it, a rug exchange, right? And I thought, okay, so I need to do this now because I've already been paired up with my buddy, and I'm excited to get my rug. I better make my rug in return. So this is the postcard exchange where the rugs are going to be 4x6, so postcard size, really small, right? So I decided to do, it's supposed to be like where you're from. And while I live in Connecticut right now, I mostly lived in Rhode Island. So I still feel like, although I wasn't born there, that's where I spent most of my life. So I feel like I grew up there for the most part. And that's in my mind still home. So I did a design of this hillside. And it's called Primrose Hill in my mind because we lived on a street where there was this school called Primrose Hill. And I didn't go there. I went to St. Luke's. But Primrose Hill was right up the road, and I could walk there by myself with my friends. And there was a little dirt path that went through this little part of the woods to put you into the playground at Primrose Hill. And in my mind, in those days, it was like one word, like Primrose Hill. And where are you going? Primrose Hill. And it was a big deal. It was a beautiful hillside. At that time, I didn't realize that there were flowers all over the place. I'm guessing primroses. And it was this steep hill that we would ride our bicycles down and stuff. So this is my sketch here. I'm going to show you, I'm going to use a slightly different transfer method this time. Let me show you what I'm up to here. I'll just tell you, I have got one of these boards that came from some cheap place. You know, it's just a plastic board. And I've got one of these. I don't know if you don't need to have this. This is like, it's just one of the plug things that you stick in, right? Like not a USB, but the small one, like a phone charger. I've been sticking these plugs into everything because they have like an easy connect. That's not necessary, obviously. And as long as the thing is on there and it's not working. Why isn't it working? Hold on. Oh, it wasn't in there all the way. Okay, wait a minute. Let me plug us back in here. Better go on. Not going on, is it? Okay, excellent. Let's see what's going on. Was there some irony there with me saying, let's see what's going on? Well, not this. It's going on now. It wasn't plugged in. So I plug it in, and then the thing goes real bright. Like you could put it at different brightnesses. So let me show you how this works flat down on the table. Now this is what I've got going on. Simple as this. I normally transfer with fiber tape because I transfer things multiple times for my business, but you don't have to if you're just doing a one-off, and this is a one-off. I've got the Primrose Hill drawing here. I've got my little scrap of monk's cloth here, and I can see that if I have it on the board, I can turn this up higher and I should be able to trace it, but I can only see it if it's traced really dark. I tend to do my drawings in light colors just for prettiness, so I'm going to have to trace these out real quickly with a Sharpie so that I can really see my lines, and I'll speed up for that. Okay, and here we go. Everything is a little bit darker, so this should work. Let's see if I can do this. Yep, I can do that. And, oh, I should have traced the size. Definitely, oops, I just threw right on the board. I am such a careful worker, huh? All right, so if I put it on there, let's see, is this the brightest setting? Yep, that's the brightest setting. That works great. I know a lot of you have light boxes and things like that, but sometimes, oh, these Sharpies. Sometimes it's just nice to know that there are some smaller options. I almost forgot to get it squared. Now this is just for me to put on my work frame, and my work frame is very small, so I'm just going to quickly trace this out here. The first thing I'm going to do, as always, is make sure my lines are super straight, right? I'm a stickler for that. It's got to be like that. It's easier to hook with straighter lines. And, you know, and then you don't have distortion problems by mistake. Like why have those problems, right? We all have enough problems. So here we go. Hillside. You can see my little trees. And this is a tiny size, right? So I think I'm going to cut that last one out. I think that looks better. And then I just do a quick, because once I get it down for the most part, I know what I mean to do. The primroses are in every color. Primroses come in so many colors, and they look so pretty together. I'm just going to do a mix of different colors of primroses. So it's almost so that the field looks like a pattern. Do you know what I mean? If you have enough of something, it's always going to look like a pattern. Patterns are great designs. They make really strong compositions because your eye likes to see the multiple things, right? Likes to see things in multiple. So this should be a good composition. And you know what? It has to be small. So I can't do like a Grandma Moses over here, right? That's not going to work. This is 4 by 6 inches. So I think that's it, right? Oh no, there's one more here. And you know, one other thing I'm going to say, let me turn that light off. So this was no problem tracing that. There's my design. God, it looks even smaller on backing fabric. The one thing I'm going to say, and I'm going to come back to you here. Let's come back together here. The one thing I'm going to say is this piece is on monk's cloth. So for those of you who are beginners, if you're thinking, okay, well, I got that, right? She did it fast, but good thing it's a video because I can rewind it. I got what she did. She's got like a little, it's like a little board that looks like a little clipboard, but it's a light board, and you can use that to see through your backing fabric or see through your tracing paper, whatever you need it for in the moment. So you get that part of it. But if you're thinking, okay, so what is the monk's cloth and why did she choose the monk's cloth? I have to say I chose the monk's cloth because I wanted a tight fabric. Monk's cloth is one of the tightest. The tightest is rug warp. 100% rug warp is even tighter. Monk's cloth is the second tightest, then linen, then burlap. And because this is so small, I might be using some yarn. I don't know yet, but I might be using some yarn. And if I'm using yarn, I want it to be a tight backing because I might use some of my sock yarn. I don't know. I haven't thought about it yet. I literally just drew this, and I know what kind of colors I want. And, you know, it's a small piece, so I can use scraps of things. I don't have to dip into big yardage chunks that I've dyed for myself, you know. So I chose monk's cloth in part because it's a tight weave. Monk's cloth is usually not my personal favorite because I have a Miller hook, which has a real tight curl at the tip of the hook, and it gets snagged a lot in monk's cloth. Monk's cloth, I'm going to vote most likely to snag, right? If this was like a rug hooking yearbook, who's the most likely to snag? Monk's cloth. 1000% sure, right? But nonetheless, it is a quite tight backing. It's a small piece. I can suffer anything for a piece that's this tiny. I think it's going to come out really well on monk's cloth. And I was able to do this trick with the light board. With linen, it might not have worked, right? If it was darker linen, it might not have worked. A little bit thicker. With rug warp, might not have worked. A little bit thicker, but it definitely worked with monk's cloth. Otherwise, I would have chosen a different method. But make good decisions when you're doing small projects like this. The one negative thing that I'll say about monk's cloth is when it goes to finishing this project, finishing the edges, if I want to finish it by doing the envelope sleeves like this, you know, corners, like that kind of thing, I don't love finishing stuff that way with monk's cloth because it's so likely to fray. I would end up cutting it down a little bit, and I'd probably do my zigzag stitch further up just to be sure. But I'm not a fan of finishing things with a needle and thread in monk's cloth because it's too thready, and I feel like it's always fraying and trying to unravel quicker than I can get to it. So I don't particularly like that about it. What I might end up doing is wrapping it against, my stand is moving, wrapping it against, I have these little like fiber boards. I could wrap it around one of those, and or I could put it into a frame because it's a standard size, 4 by 6 standard size. All right, lots to think about. Happy Friday. I will be live in a few minutes with Cocktail Night, and I will see you next time at Ribbon Candy Hooking. Take care.